OK, look, we know the big story with you guys. You're facing an increase in all your bills, right? Your energy bills, your council tax, national insurance tax rise, inflation, all these sort of things. You don't need me to tell you all of this. But today, we are getting the top tips you need to shop smarter and save more with Kate Hardcastle here. Kate, what are your top tips for shopping smarter? Let's start with that.
Well, a lot of the time, I think most of us shop blind. And what I mean by that is we're distracted. So you're looking at the phone or you're talking to somebody, you're trying to keep the kids in check. And that means we're susceptible to the offers and promotions that are placed there. And I used to be in retail, so I know what's happening, to make us think we're getting a bargain when perhaps we're not. So things like shopping high and shopping low is one of the top tips, because the ease of grab height, the middle of any aisle, is going to be the products they want you to have. The bargains are going to be harder to reach. So it's about getting in control in the driving seat and understanding that if we also waste, the average household wastes 60 quid of food a month, we can get on top of that by a bit of planning. So I think it's all about preventative measures rather than just getting concerned about the fact that costs are going up and we've no control over that. We still do.
Are those supermarkets and other, retailers still sort of pulling the wool over our eyes with with the deals? When it's sort of buy one, get one free, is that usually a good way to buy, or is that actually the supermarkets kind of tricking you?
Nothing's a deal unless you need it, and that's why we've got to get planned. Now, I think when it comes to the grocery shop, because we know we have to get the provisions in, we don't tend to think about it. It's a must-have. But actually, we're quite out of control. It's those top-up shops where you're spending £20 here or there, going in and buying a few more biscuits. And then, like I say, throwing that food away is a huge challenge on the fridge and freezer, where we've just got items just going to waste. We've got to get in control of it. If we saw that as cash, I don't think we'd behave in the same way. And I think we've got to be realistic. The average household in the UK is a month away from financial challenges. So we've got to make sure that we are in control of every single bit of spend. And if we are chucking away 60 quid of food a month and we aren't in control of that weekly spend, that's one of the more variable spends in each week that we can get back on control of.
Do you not think that however careful you may be with your grocery shopping, it can all be wiped away by some sort of impulse buy? And I'm not talking about food or whatever. I'm talking about, I want that coat or those shoes, or there's just things we go, really? You've really got to think about this.
Completely. We buy emotionally, and that's what retail depends on. But the fact is, if we do buy emotionally and then we're trying to play catch-up all a month, it puts us under stress the other way. So something that can make you feel good for one day, 1 hour, can actually make you feel really sad for the next few weeks as you try and counterbalance that and eat beans on toast, as I used to. I've been through this. I know what this feels like.
I like beans and toast.
I do too.
Not for 3
Every
weeks.
day.
No,
I know what you mean, but I'm talking about certain simplicity things where we're convinced, because we watch television, we're convinced we must go to Deliveroo or Just Eat, and we must order something bigger and fancier, and instead, sardines on toast or beans on toast might be okay. My problem is that my wife does the grocery shopping in our house, and therefore she buys lots of things I don't like.
Right.
So that's what leads to food wastage.
It does.
Because you open up the fridge and I'd say, there's nothing to eat in this house. And you say, nothing to eat. There's avocados and there's young beans.
Chocolate.
And there was no chocolate.
I know.
You'll never find a piece of chocolate in our house.
Is that true?
Not in the open, anyway.
He's looked, believe me, he's looked.
No, listen, I want to tell you. I was in Waitrose yesterday, right, buying chocolate for someone. And anyway, I went up and there was an article on Isabel and I in a magazine that I lifted, and there was chocolate, whatever. And they wanted me to do my own packing and all that sort of thing. And I thought, I'm not doing this. And there was a lovely woman called Sue there who was on a till, and she said, come to me. And I went to Sue, and she was very professional. She did what she had to do, and she finished, and she said at the end of it, and congratulations to you and Isabel. I will see you in the morning. Me and my husband watch. And they say that you've got the mix just right.
Oh, yeah?
Just right
nice.
on the programme. So it was nice to get that feedback.
Yeah, well, congrats to you both on your award nominations. I know that's very important. But that's because you talk about important things like the cost of living. So I'm going to give you some top tips if I can.
Yes, please.
We've got time.
Yeah, 100%.
So first and foremost, I want you to start planning what's in your fridge and freezer. And one of the ways I do that is I've got a wipe clean magnetic board on the front of my fridge. So I'm noting down everything and all the expiration dates. I'm batch cooking, which I know Isabel does really well. I was very proud of you to see that post. list, but we need to get those meals in front. So if it's something that Mrs Holmes perhaps hasn't made for you, Eamon, you need to get it out of the freezer ready to go.
Mrs Holmes batch cooks.
Yeah, she's brilliant. She's
Yeah.
brilliant. But then she buys things like feta cheese.
It's delicious. Anyway, let's keep
mozzarella.
the tips.
Well, mozzarella's like eating rubber.
Oh, it's delicious, especially when it's melted.
Disagree,
It's stringy.
Holly.
Anyway, so batch cooking is a definite.
Batch cooking, fridge and freezer monitoring, going to the supermarket with a list, drawing cash out to pay for your supermarket shopping.
Nobody takes cash.
They do in the supermarkets, Eamon. They do. I
See
promise
this
you.
haircut?
Yeah.
Cash. Cash. That was the only way they were accepting.
Because they can't refund you.
Only Isabel can say that.
So you're saying if you take cash, it's
Yeah.
not like swiping a card because you actually know I've given 2 of those big notes there
Once
for
a
that.
week. So then if you've seen those offers, or even in the supermarkets, there are a lot of other items that aren't food related that we might pick up on. We can't do it if we've got the cash out, can we? And we've left the cards at home. We've got enough for the list that we're going to spend. I think cash control.
So the cards, the interesting thing, the cards are limitless almost. It's like you in your mind, whatever your budget is. If you've only taken £20 out with you, you can only spend £20. But if you've got a card, you can spend £60.
Absolutely. It's there to spend, isn't it? And you've got to get control. And I think, you know, one of the things I will say as well is making finance visible in your house. Actually, don't make it one person's issue, make it everyone's. Put the food budget on the fridge. Get the kids involved with the planning. It's a good exercise for them. Education on finance is just something I think we are really, really struggling with in the UK. And I think anything you can do to show them importance of this in the home is going to help them.
You need to get into schools, Kate.
I'd love to.
They need a Kate Hardcastle in schools teaching our kids how to budget.
101.
But this is the point I was bringing up with the Education Secretary last week. I mean, I just don't understand why we don't teach young people about money management, getting a mortgage, compound interest rates, whatever, because we are 2 examples of people who could have and should have been educated like that and weren't.
Oh, yeah. Don't ask me about these sorts of things. Kate, that's what you're there for.
That's what I'm here for. Good luck with the mozzarella.
Thanks for coming in bright and early. We love it. We're going to have to take a break. We'll be back at the top of the next hour. See you in a moment.